So this week, when we have so much happening for children and families in our program and in our congregation, I'm thinking about multi-generational worship on Sunday, OWL, Our Whole Lives, sexuality education is starting next week. We've got a children's music program on Thursday. So it's just had Abby and I thinking really hard about our own time as children in UU congregations and what it has meant to us today to have been raised with the Unitarian Universalist faith.
Yeah. So how did Unitarian Universalism help you to become a change maker?
Yeah, I mean, the first story that ever came to mind when Abby asked me this question was I was asked to be on a panel at my high school my senior year, and my high school was a very sort of stiff upper lip, traditional boarding school in New England, very puritanical.
Yeah.
And they asked us, it was me and a few other seniors, what would we change about the school if we could? And I had this clarity of purpose in that moment, and I was nervous, but I felt that I needed to say, which was, we needed more black teachers. We need more black teachers in this institution that was predominantly white and that served a lot of black kids, but we did not have enough black people in leadership. And it ruffled a few feathers for me to say that, and I was nervous in the moment to say it. But I felt called to speak that truth from my Unitarian Universalist faith, and I also felt like the courage to say the change I needed to see came from being raised as a Unitarian Universalist.
Yeah, I was thinking about this too when we were talking about it earlier, and the story that comes to mind for me being raised Unitarian Universalist is like, I was taught that all people matter, that all people have inherent worth and dignity, that no matter what your gender is, no matter what your sexuality is, no matter what your race is, that you have worth, and that it's important to speak up for justice.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I learned in my congregation growing up was like, though my parents were straight, that there were lesbian and gay other people in the congregation, like adults, families, parents with other kids. And so it was like really normalized in my faith tradition where it wasn't normal everywhere else. And so when I got to high school, I like immediately joined our Gay Straight Alliance, and by my sophomore year, I think I was one of the chairs of the Gay Straight Alliance. And at the time, the Republican governor of Massachusetts at the time, William Weld, thank you, William Weld, had asked kids who were in Gay Straight Alliances to come and demonstrate at the State House, to like march up Beacon Street in Massachusetts and demonstrate at the State House, speak about what was important to us to make our high schools more welcoming to gay and lesbian kids. We also had like a mentorship program where we mentored other Gay Straight Alliances that were just getting off the ground because ours was like really well established. And all of like my desire to be part of that and my desire to help lead it like came from my Unitarian Universalist values, that like everyone mattered, that everyone should have a voice in what happens to them, and that LGBTQ people should be part of the conversation. And so I just feel really powerfully that like my faith helped me become a change maker.
Definitely.
From a young age. And so we're talking about change makers across the ages in our stewardship campaign this year. Yes.
This is our brochure for our stewardship campaign this year.
And we're talking about some of the historical figures in this congregation who were change makers 150 years ago, but we're also talking about the change makers who are like here right now, like our babies, like the other kids who are here in the congregation, and all of the adults who are here, who are coming together on a weekly basis to remind ourselves that everyone has inherent worth, that everyone should have a voice in what happens to them, and that everyone should be able to speak up for justice and be heard and be able to make a difference.
Yeah, and that their faith gives them courage too. Their faith gives them courage. Their faith helped me develop a moral compass at a young age and to have a strong sense of what was right and what was wrong. And I think that's the definition of a change maker too.
Yeah. So when you make a pledge to this congregation, you're helping all of that happen, not just for this generation of us across the ages who are here now, not every age that's here now, but also those of us who are the youngest in this community, be instilled with these kind of values and this kind of sense of the importance of speaking up, so that they can become change makers in the future. I hope that many of you will consider making a pledge to this congregation. It costs something like $2,000 per person for us to carry out our mission every year. We know that that is beyond the means of lots of us in this community, and it wouldn't feel generous for others of us in this community to give $2,000 who have who have a really significant financial needs.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow, when all of us come together and give what we can, when it feels generous to us, we've always been able to make it work. What's most important is that all of us come together and do it. So I hope that many of you will consider making a pledge. There's a link under this video, in the email or the YouTube link, wherever you're looking at it. And you can also make a pledge with the mailing that you maybe received in the mail or on a Sunday here in the next few weeks. Our campaign's going to go through October 23rd. We encourage you to make a pledge before that time. I know I am really, really excited about raising my kid here so that he can learn how to be a change maker the way I was taught to be.
Same. I'm really proud that my baby's going to grow up being a Unitarian Universalist and hopefully learn the same things that Abby and I did.
Yeah. Thank you all for helping to make that happen. See you on Sunday or Thursday at the Vesper Service Children's Music Program dinner. Bye.
Bye.